I welcome to the floor Mr. Leo Gellor. Hi, Leo. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for doing this for us.
Good afternoon, Mariel. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity that you have given me to again reconnect with the first love of my passion for human resource, which is the academe. And of course, I'm so glad and I'm so thankful because this afternoon we are actually, how do you call this, overwhelmed with a lot of participants coming from up northern Luzon. Okay, so in as much as they wanted to learn from me, I also wanted to learn from Gen Zs, di ba? Oo, kasi syempre, nowadays, iba yung environment with the technology around us compared to during the time that I was still studying and during the time that I was actually applied for a job. So this afternoon, welcome everyone for being here. I know that there are still a lot coming in to this Zoom room. We actually expanded the capacity of our Zoom room because initially it's only about to cater around 100 participants, but there's another school up north that wanted also to send their students, especially the graduating ones, to this particular session this afternoon. Okay, so let's make this not too formal, but let's make this a little casual. Although I'll be showing you slides, early part of my talk, and then later we will have an opportunity to actually ask questions even outside of the topic that I'm going to discuss, because actually the title of our session this afternoon is more of a conversation, questions that you are afraid to ask HR, no? So ito yung pagkakataon natin para matanong yung mga bagay na gusto natin na talagang itanong na nahihiya nating tanungin, ika nga. No? So thank you so much, Mr. Rafi Noliar, who's present here this afternoon for hi Rafi. Rafi is actually Rafi was the advisor of the Junior PMAP, no? That's the student organization of the People Management Association of the Philippines, advisor in Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University in San Fernando, La Union. Thank you so much. And now he is the, Rafi is now the HR head of the school itself, right? And thank you so much. And another school that's present here is the Mariano Marcos State University naman. So kung ito ay DMMSU, the other school is the MMSU lang. No? So Mariano Marcos State University that's based in Batak, Ilocos Norte. So welcome students of MMSU. Thank you so much for being here. No? I know hindi kayo nagsasawa pagdating sa learning. No? And I love that you are here because you will not only be introduced to the topic that I'm going to discuss, but you will also be introduced to a platform, job platform that will help you get the job you want or probably earn something in the process of referring someone for the position that is available on the site. Okay, so that's PasaJob. As I speak right now, maybe you can download the app. It's PasaJob, so that you can register and possibly refer someone for the positions available on the site, so that you get something. If that person is successful, you will get a referral fee as much as 3,000 pesos, or depende, may iba nga 5,000 pa ang ino-offer. Okay, so that's PasaJob. Okay, so anyway, this afternoon, I will start my talk. Can I start na ba? Okay na ba, Meryl? Okay, so sige.
Yes,
so this afternoon I'm going to start my talk with, of course, the very basic. I'll share screen na, Meryl.
Yes, po. Are you able to?
Right.
Yes, you can.
There you go. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, you can.
All right. Sige. So Disclaimer lang ha, not all that I'm going to share. I mean, this is not only the tips that you can actually have, no. You may even have talked to other people already in the past, especially yung mga kamag-anak natin na nakapagtrabaho na, no. So how they actually were able to get the job, no. So this I'm going to share with you something that actually based on experience as an HR practitioners who myself have interviewed a lot of applicants in the past. Okay, so the first part of our discussion is on how to actually make it, no, pass the initial interview or the interview for when you apply for a job. Okay. For a while, I'll just there you go. Okay, so there are 4 intangible fundamentals of a successful interview. One is enthusiasm. Definitely, when you apply for a when you apply for a job, you always have to exhibit that enthusiasm in you in front of the person interviewing you. Nowadays, because of the new normal, sorry, can we mute? Can we mute our phone, our mics, please, microphones? Okay. So nowadays, we are in what we call a new normal, and most of hello, sorry. Okay. Most of the interviews are done via digital means, no? So one is this particular platform, which is the Zoom. So we do a lot of interviewing nowadays via Zoom. Okay, so even in the Zoom, no, you should be able to reflect on your on the camera that you are so enthusiastic about having been asked to come for an interview, no. So you have to leave no doubt as to your level of interest in the job. Okay. But of course, no, prior to going to an interview, it's always very important that when you do your resume, it should be something na very catchy, no, very attractive in the thing. It's not here, but I would like to tell you that ayaw namin yung resume na masyadong mahaba ang nakasulat. And then at saka babasa namin ng mahabang pagkasulat, marami kang makikitang pagkakamali sa spelling, sa grammar, no. So better that you make it short, no, especially for newly grads, no. Actually, newly grads, we expect that a 1-page resume is enough because you do not have enough naman experience to put in there, no. So basically, what matters is the summary of your competencies and no, one thing that we wanted from an applicant is the involvement in any non-academic activities or organization. Why that matters? Because a lot of companies have social initiative, social responsibility initiative, and if you have been involved in a lot of voluntary works in the past during your college days, or it will be very easy. It will be something that your prospective employer will be putting as a plus point for you, because they will not find it hard looking for potential volunteers, no, for an activity that will be done by the office or the company. Many applicants actually submit the resumes, but these end up in the trash bin, sad to say. Okay. If you are invited to an interview, you should be happy already, because imagine you are a lot of number of people applying for a particular position, particular job, then you are one of those who's likely to be invited for the interview. So make the best out of you on that first meeting of yours with the person who invited you for the interview. Paghandaan. Okay? Paghandaan mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, yung moment na yon, because that is the moment for you to shine. Okay, that's the moment for you to shine, because when you apply for a job, you're selling yourself. Why will the company get you over all the other applicants? So if you are not the best person in front of the person interviewing, then you could end up losing that opportunity to land the job. Okay. Second is the technical interest. Okay, so employers look for people who love what they do. Um, Many a times, and this is something that you actually may probably have seen this, no, nag-viral lately, ang isang offer for a college graduate of a top one of the top tiered universities in the Philippines. I don't know if you've seen that, no? She was, I don't know if you were, that person was over 37,000 starting salary, but she declined, the person declined, the applicant declined because um, she was expecting more, having graduated from a top-notch university in the country. Okay. Again, kami sa HR, we don't look at the educational, we don't look at the institution where you graduate from. We would look at how you actually performed during your 4 years or 5 years in the university. It doesn't matter where you graduate. Okay, so in fact, no, I have a bias actually for those who graduate from state university in terms of getting these people, because I know that they really are so committed about finishing the course, simply because most of them, if not all of them, are scholars of the institution. So, and many of them actually come from, a family na probably hindi kayang ma-afford the whole 5 years of education in college. So I know that when you give these people assignments, they will really do work hard to make it done and delivered beyond expectation. So ganun din tayo, no? We have to show that technical interest, that we love what we are doing. We love what we are doing. Okay, so in our sharing of experience during our school days, we'll be asked, so how did you perform? How did you find it? That level of enthusiasm and that level of interest on your part of doing that particular thing during your college days actually helps in assessing whether you will be further shortlisted for final interview. Okay. Third is confidence. No, so no one likes a braggart. No, but the candidate is sure of his or her abilities will certainly be more favorably received. We don't want also somebody who is too proud ba, o sabi natin na parang so lifting so much, himself or herself, just to sell him and convince the interviewer to get the person. Because at the end of the day, we have to learn from that particular applicant the word we, hindi lang yung I. Okay? Kasi siyempre many a times we wanted to just sell ourselves and we always use the pronoun I, me, my. Okay, so we will never get things done by our own selves. We will definitely need the help of other people. Even in school, when we do a project, it's definitely not just I, myself, alone. It's always with someone, whether inside the university or outside the university. Number 4 is intensity. The last thing you want to do is come across as flat in your interview. By the way, just to share with you, many interviewers nowadays, including myself, I don't normally do an interview with just asking question and then the applicant answers. It's normally a conversation. I call it a conversation. So it's better that you actually initiate the conversation. It's just telling a story about you, who you are, and why do you think the company will get you. So it's something that you pitch, you do a pitch of yourself, of your competencies. So it's don't wait for question, answer, question, answer, questions. Read it flat. Okay. How do you prepare for that? Practice in front of the mirror. Diba? Para ka bang nagde-declaim, okay? Para kang kukwento, no? So that's what also we expect nowadays from applicants for a job. No? So just tell the story. No? Highlight those that you think would actually help you get that particular job. Okay. Next, other fundamentals, present your background in a thorough and accurate manner. By the way, again, before the scheduled interview, we have what we call the paper screening. So make sure lang na okay ang mga grammar natin. No? We are using the right prepositions. So we are using, we really highlight something that needs highlights. Pero yung mga hindi dapat i-highlight, natin i-highlight, okay? The shorter our resume, the better for us. The concise it is, no? So if you can have a parang sinasabi nating covering letter that summarizes your competencies and everything, your strengths and everything in there, that's something also that would help, you know, because we don't have to really go through the resume itself, but the particular areas we wanted to gauge your competency for the job. Second is gather data concerning the company. Please lang research on the particular company. You know? So if you're applying for a position in a particular company, it's better that you're prepared going for the interview by having learned a lot about the organization, you know, the structure, its business, its location, its involvement in community affairs, if any. So yung mga bagay na ganyan, no? And because why? Because the more that you know about the organization, the more that they know that you are prepared for the position. Okay? Third, link your abilities with the company needs in the mind of the employer. Okay, so basically, when we post a job, meron niyang mga certain kind of a job description. No? Ano yung, what does it entail for someone to be able to be shortlisted for the job, no, for the position. So you have to make sure that you link your abilities, you link your competencies to the needs of the organization. By the way, mali din yung sasabihin na yung job objective, kasi a lot of fresh graduates that I encountered having applied for a position or job, they would put as job objective to apply for a job that would harness my skills, etc., etc. No. Actually, when you apply for a job, you highlight things that you have already, which the company will benefit from. Okay? Kasi hindi naman kukuha ang kumpanya ng isang empleyado para turuan. Nangyayari yan during OJT, nangyayari yan during internship. But pag-apply mismo na ng trabaho, dapat, sabi nga natin doon job ready ka, task ready ka, no? Hindi ka hihingi ng pagkakataon na pag-apply mo ng trabaho ay tuturuan ka pa lang kasi babayaran ka na may sweldo ka na Di ba? Okay? And then build a strong case for why the company should hire you. Why should it be me? Okay? Of course, hindi mo pwedeng siraan yung mga kapwa mo applicants. No? May nakatabi ka ko minsan, di ba? O di kaya alam mo na ang isang kaklase mo ay mag-apply din sa position na yan at kilala mo yung kaklase mo. No? You cannot simply say na some applicants, dahil meron ka ng background kung sino mga ibang na shortlist, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin yun. You just have to highlight what you have. No? Because at the end of the day, kaming nasa HR will do a ranking. No? Ranking of those people that we interview. And the one who gets the top spot will definitely get to be hired most likely. Pero nire-reserve din namin yung number 2 and number 3. Why? Because sometimes yung top 1 nagba-back out. Tapos ang top 2 nagba-back out or something happens. So it's always, meron kami tinatawag na ranking. Okay? Next. So 7 most commonly asked interviewing questions. What do you want? Why do you want this job? So you have to be honest to tell the interviewer why you need the job. Okay? Hindi yun dahil kasi po frustrated na po ako, wala po akong makukuha ng trabaho, ang pamilya ko po nape-pressure na po ako. Okay? So, it doesn't actually help at all. Why? Because kami, we will think of it na parang baka hindi ito masyadong mag-e-effort sa work kasi at the end of the day, ang habwa lang nito ay makakuha ng trabaho at makasweldo. Pero yung puso wala doon, ika nga. So, you have to be honest also why you want this particular job. Tapos, why do you want to leave your present company? Or why did you leave your present or your previous company? No? So, tinatanong din namin yan kung employed ka. Halimbawa, what's the reason behind you leaving the organization? So, you have to be honest also. A lot of the interviews that I did, yung reason was actually yung retrenchment. No? many of the companies closed, or many of the companies actually how do you call it? Their operations were affected, so they reduced number of manpower. So you have to just be honest, because that's the reality naman eh. So it doesn't affect at all your application. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? No? So isang tanong din yan. Why is it very, very important? Kasi para malaman ng kumpanya kung align ka ba doon sa goal din ng organization. Kasi syempre yung organization, meron yung long-term goals eh. So kung nakikita nila na yung goals mo ay aligned doon, probably they will put you as a person who has high potentials, and probably give you that opportunity to grow with the organization, because this is also the path, or this is also the goal of the organization. So align ka doon. At number 4 also, what are your personal goals? So in yourself, so gusto mo bang mag-aral pa ng matuloy yung master's degree mo, mag-take the master's degree? Why is it also very, very important? Kasi definitely sa mga kumpanya, basis for promotion is performance, and of course yung continuous education. So if you wanted to move up, plus factor yung meron ka ring additional academic studies, no? Other than the undergrad course na take natin, or other form of trainings, no? Mga short courses, for short-term courses, for example, no? Marami yan sa PMAP. There are a lot of training programs for HR practitioners na mga 2 months, 3 months or something, okay? So that's also very, very important that you share your personal goals. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Okay? Bakit importante din na sasabihin natin ito? Ako ang tinatanong ko, minsan iniiba ko yung tanong pagdating sa ganyan. No? I always ask, who is, for example, if the applicant is 1, who is 1? So, pag tinanong tayo ng mga bagay na ganyan, kasi sometimes very creative lang din naman yung interviewer, who is 1? Okay, so you just have to say, you highlight your personality. Why is it very, very important? Because we have to remember, pagpasok natin ng work, these are different personalities. These are different people. So, may idea na kagad, no? Yung employer kung anong klase, kung magja-jive ka doon sa team, no? Magja-jive ka doon sa grupo kung saan ka probably i-assign. Okay? You just have to be honest, kasi mahirap. Malalaman din namin kung kung ang applicant ay medyo mata mo dyan, ang applicant na nagpapa-impress. Okay? Para lang makuha yung job na yun. Okay? So ang weaknesses, many times, you know what, from experience, pag tinatanong, okay, so what are your weaknesses? Ang hirap kayo ang daming mga applicant na they cannot utter one single weakness, no? And at times I have to really rephrase it to say, now, what are your challenges? What are the things that you are you have the hardship, or something that you can simply get over, or something that you or something that you need to improve. So pinakalang ko siyang i-rephrase para lang makakuha ako ng kasi no one is perfect, di ba? What do you like most about your current company? So you say something good about the organization. What do you like least about your current company? Okay, no po yung sisiraan natin yung ating mga boss, ha? Kasi ano ang garantiya na pagdating sa akin dito sa kumpanya ko ay hindi mo rin yung gagawin pag umalis ka. Okay, so never mentioned about personalities, but mention about the weakness of the organization. Kung halimbawa ang isang organization ay hindi sumusunod sa batas, okay, you don't have to mention about the person kasi probably getting orders lang din yan from higher ups. But that's also something, because in my case, if I'm doing the business legally and rightfully, I have nothing to worry. And I want that person, because ayoko naman ng corrupt, ayoko naman ng somebody who is not following what is in the law, di ba? So share that, no? But don't say something bad about the person doon sa previous organization. Okay, so some questions also that you can count on. One are the resume questions. So pag napadala nyo sa amin yung resume, we try to actually validate the contents, no? Very, very important yung paglalahad ng experience. If you have already experience working in different organizations, in different companies, and you start putting the latest to the oldest na employment company kung saan tayo na-involve. Okay? In laying down the positions, probably if it's not related to, if it's not the same position as you are applying for, then you have to probably indicate ano yung mga salient tasks or work that you've been doing in that particular positions, because that would also help the company, the interviewer, assess na outside of this particular function, I can use this guy. Meron siyang extra skill na probably can help my company doon sa bagay na yon. Okay? And then, interviewers will usually want you to comment on your abilities or assess your past performance. So, by the way, may ibang mga companies at marami mga companies na gumagawa ng background check. Normally, pag gumagawa ng background check, ang HR, isa sa mga tinitingnan yung history ng disciplinary action. Okay? Second ay yung performance sa trabaho. Bakit nila hinihingi ito? Dahil gusto nilang ma-assess kung itong taong ito, pag kinuha ko ba, will also be able to contribute to the attainment of the company goals. Okay? So, pero may mga companies din na hindi na talaga ginagawa ito, because when we see that the person actually is too honest, no? The way we gauge it, to tell, and we are satisfied with the answers. Kung minsan hindi na talaga kami nagba-background check, no? Doon sa kabilang organizations. And oh, by the way, very critical also yung if you have experience working, yung short-term na mga employment. So halimbawa ay marami kang nilagay na experience. Marami kang companies na nilagay dyan. Pero pag titingnan namin yung mga 6 months na klase ng trabaho, that also is not good to the eye of the interviewer, no, or the person doing the paper screening. Okay? Kasi ibig sabihin nun, hindi ka tumatagal. Isa yun sa mga perception na medyo hindi tumatagal ito. It's either na end of contract, o bakit na end of contract? Kasi hindi, probably ang performance, no? Kasi definitely, no one of us here, probably those attending right now, you wanted a security of tenure. When you speak of security of tenure, you wanted a long-term employment that will build your career. Okay? Kasi you apply for a job, but you build your career from that particular job na in-applyan mo. Okay? And that's the second part of our talk, actually. Interviewers will usually want you to comment. So, ayun, na-mention kanina. Third, interviewers like to know how you respond to different stimuli, situation questions. Ako ganun din ako. I don't normally ask questions lang na. It's always a situation questions. Why? Because I gauge 3 things, no, sa pag-interview. And some of you may have heard of this already, no. So based on the survey that PMAP did, there are 3 behavioral competencies that are lacking in fresh graduates. Ano to? So communication skills, critical thinking, and initiative. Ano yung communication skills? So communication skills is not just the way you present yourself, the way you speak, no? It's not about speaking in English, actually. It's how you are able to convey. The way you actually put order in your thoughts, no? So that the listener, the person who is interviewing, can actually understand what you were saying. Another thing is your the way you do your gestures. So it's part of communication skills. No? So this practice, you have to practice this in front of a mirror. Na dapat hindi ka mahiya. Okay? And yung eye contact is also very, very important. As I speak to you right now, if you're not looking at the screen that the deck that I'm showing you, I'm actually facing the camera of my laptop, no? Because I'm talking to you as my audience. So in the interview, ganun din yan. Ayaw namin yung tumitingin sa taas, no? O di kaya gumaganon nakayuko, no? Or nakatingin somewhere else, no? So it's always the eye contact. Pero hindi naman yung talagang titig ka na titig forever. Siyempre at one moment talagang medyo gaganon ka, pero hindi yung tatagal ka sa isang ganon na nawawala na yung pagtingin mo doon o pagtutok mo doon sa nag-interview sa iyo. Some employers like to test your mettle with stress questions such as, ito, di ba? After you die, what would you like your epitaph to read? So, ano nakalagay doon sa iyong lapida? Okay? Mga nagtatanong na ganyan. Ako, just to share with you, when I interview, I ask actually the background ng family. So I ask ano ang trabaho ng parents, no? Ano ang ilan sila magkakapatid, anong trabaho ng mga kapatid, no? Tinatanong ko yan. Bakit ko tinatanong? Kasi I would understand eventually ang empleyadong yon if a problem arises during his stay in the organization. No? So hindi namin, malaking bagay yun sa akin because I have a side note that is attached to the assessment form that I fill up. At nilalagay ko na yun sa to one file pag na-hire yung tao. Para at least pag binalikan ko, ano ba yung personality ng taong ito. So, ganun ang ginagawa namin sa HR. If we wanted to learn about the person, we look at the resume because supposedly part of the interview is the character assessment, no, and personality of the person other than the behavioral competencies. So sa interview, there are two things kasi, di ba? Behavioral competencies that we assess and the technical competencies. Yung technical, ito yung ability to perform the job itself. So kung kukuha ako ng accounting assistant, ba't ako kukuha ng psychology graduate? I will get somebody who is a graduate of either management accounting or accountancy. Okay, so related doon sa function na yun. Yun yung technical, no? So, pero pagdating sa behavioral, mostly the same assessment regardless of the position na ina-applyan. Because at the end of the day, it's about making sure that that particular applicant will blend with the team, no? And will be able to actually adapt to the culture that the company or the organization has. Okay, so at the conclusion of your interview, you can wrap up any unfinished business you failed to cover. No? So you just have to be a little assertive also, no? Kasi kuminsan, alam nyo, ito rin no? I mean, hindi ko naman inaamin na perfect lagi ang sa part ng HR pag nag-interview. Minsan meron ka nakikita na kasimangot. Masamang gising siguro something. Ano? And I encountered applicants na they just feel your day so light. Na parang, alam mo yung gano'n, na parang they have a way of making sure that the interview becomes so engaging. Kasi kung minsan, ang HR, meron lang yan nakalista ko ng mga itatanong. In fact, marami sa mga gano'n na mga practitioners, lalo without bias, no, doon sa mga fresh graduates, yung mga hindi pa masyadong aral, no, or have enough experience in interviewing. So they just have a set of questions, guide questions, no, na they read as it is. So it's not really something na very conversational. Okay, so I always advise that, you know, my staff for the screening, it should be something na very light, very welcoming. Okay, para maramdaman ng applicant na this is an environment that I really like. All the more that she or he will exert a lot of effort making sure to get that particular job, no, na ino-offer sa market. Okay? So it's a good practice to make the interviewer aware of other opportunities you are exploring. So kung halimbawa, other than particular position, you see that there's another position available. So you just have to open yourself to other opportunities inside the organization based on your credentials, based on your competencies, based on the things that you think you'll be able to bring with you to the organization to realize the goals of the organization. Okay? So yun yung pagdating sa resume and presenting yourself for an interview. My question, do you think you can ask questions during the interview process? Of course. Okay. Pwede ba magtanong ng sweldo kung magkano? So halimbawa, pag tinanong kayo ng sweldo, meron mga ganyan eh. Oh, how much do you expect? Please, normally, just to give an idea, for an entry-level position, it's always the basic rate. Ano? But a lot of companies nowadays really put extra. No? They put something, they make it a little higher doon sa minimum wage. Okay? Pero for the position na medyo technical, that would require technical skill, medyo talagang mataas din yung rate way above the minimum. So for example, may tinanong ka ng isang interviewer, how much do you expect? If you're a fresh graduate, you cannot simply demand something, di ba? So you say, I really just offering my credentials to you, and I would refer it to you, ma'am, if you think I deserve a salary higher or greater than something that I presented to you. Okay, so pag sinabi niya sa iyo, is 20,000 okay sa iyo? Ma'am, I will be very happy and I will be very glad to accept this particular offer, and I will give more of myself to the organization. Something like that. Okay? Kasi pag sinabi mo na kagad, pag-isipan ko pa po, naku, patay tayo dyan. Okay? Pagka ganun na kalaki, sa totoo lang guys, yung mga entry-level rate ngayon ay nagre-range ng mga nasa 13,000, that's above minimum for Manila rate, to 15,000. Pag in-offeran ka ng 20,000 at you're fresh graduates, di ba? I think medyo thankful ka na dapat doon kasi that's beyond your expectation most likely. Kasi alam ko naman na sa college, sa career seminar natin yan sa schools, sinasabi sa atin yan no? About the minimum wage, no? Entry level rate, sinasabi yan. Okay? So next, so now that you're hired, how do you want your career to grow? Okay. So some things that I would like to share with you are actually based on my personal experience, based on how I actually grew from the organization also. I started all the way from the bottom to reach one of the highest positions in my organization in the span of 13 years. No? So imagine mo yan, 13 years ako sa kumpanyang yung in-applyan ko. I started from the bottom. So what were the things that I actually did, or I would say, parang made me get to the top? Yan lang. Very passionate ako. I always let myself be highly involved in anything that I do, in anything that we do, no, in the organization. I show my passion by expressing what's inside my mind. And during meetings, for example, I make sure that I raise my point, or I would exert, I would assert an idea or a suggestion that I think will help improve the process or help the whole team get the results in the fastest time possible. So that's the person that I am. But at times, if you're not able to handle your emotion, you'll be looked at somebody na parang akala galit ka. Kasi kung minsan ganun yung mga tao na masyadong passionate, inisip natin na taong to hindi makakontrol ng emotion. Hindi, nilalabas lang natin because that's how we love our job, and that's how we love also our organization. So show that passion with you. Passion that you love what you're doing. Passion that you're willing to help. You're willing to actually give your share to ensure that the organization achieve its goal. Second, give more. Okay? Dapat mawala sa mentality natin yung tipong 8 to 5 work. Yung tipo bang, ito ang bayad sa akin Okay? Kasi based on my experience, I really didn't mind having to spend more time because in the process, I learned more. Okay? I spend more time but doing nothing. Iba yun. Na parang halimbawa, nag-exceed ako sa 8 hours ko or 9 hours ko. Pero ang extension ko actually, ang ginawa ko lang naman mag-Facebook o maglaro ng ML or something. Does that help? No, of course. Okay? But if I extend more time doing something to make sure that the next day medyo magaan ang load ko, or reading, or probably learning other tasks in my department outside of the role that I'm doing, it's something that's beneficial to me. So I don't deserve to be paid because the beneficiary is myself. Diba? So, at nakikita ito ng mga organizations na professional, they would look at it na something na plus point sa isang empleyado. Because when we do our performance management system, we always put something in there, anong additional extra effort na ginawa ng isang empleyado to deserve an additional point doon sa performance management system. So we have to make sure that we should know that the company actually has performance management system. And they gauge also areas that we do outside of our current function or position. So that's an added point also. Third is, as what I've mentioned, learn more. Okay, continue to study not only sa areas na hinawakan natin, no? Also learn all the other. Ako ngayon, I'm doing HR consulting, but I'm also a consultant, a general management consultant. No? So I handle na all departments na. Because in the process also of working actually, you will understand the dynamics, you will understand the interrelationship of functions. In some organization, you can never be a general manager. You can never be a generalist in HR if you're an HR person. If you don't know all the other functional areas of HR, or if you don't know other functional areas of finance or accountancy or accounting, okay? So you have to go beyond the job description for you to be able to expand your learning and eventually grow, no, in your career. Okay, we will never be forever on the bottom. We have to always find a way for us to move up, and we have a lot of success stories of JP mappers who are now HR managers, who are now actually holding positions, higher positions, mancom level positions in different organizations, because this is something that keeps them motivated. No, this particular, sharing that I did in you like right now. Retool and upskill. So sa position natin, try to continue learning. Kung meron tayong makitang online seminars, webinars, or whatever trainings, try to enlist, no, and look at it as an investment. It may require a certain amount for registration, pero this amount is very, very small compared to the learning or something that will add up to your credentials actually if you wanted to grow up in the career. Okay, so retool and upskill. Upskill is my company, another company that I am a part of, no, Upskill Manila. Okay, so upskilling is also something that's very, very beneficial to the person because you go beyond all the others. You always are one step ahead of anyone else if you are doing retooling, if you're retooling and upskilling. Next is have a career goal. So one step at a time, no? So maybe so kanina yung tanong ko nga, no, what you want to be in 5 years. So dapat meron ka ng nakaprogram na ladder, or in 2022, I should be a specialist, for example. Okay, if you are now an assistant, then specialist, no, or probably officer. Okay, but you can't go there if you will do nothing. Okay, so you have to show that your boss or anyone in your organization that you are so interested to move up, to learn more. Okay, because not all promotions can be an opportunity for everyone to actually get it, but not all will have that gut and that perseverance and persistence to actually get the particular promotion also. And get a mentor. Continue to look for someone to be your life coach, someone who would help you achieve your personal goals and your career goals. Get a mentor for your personal life, and probably you can also get a mentor for your career development. So, but there are also mentors na who can actually become also your life coach, and at the same time your career how to call this, someone who can help you with your career growth. Okay, and you will never stop looking. You should not stop having one until you actually retire. Ako, up to now, I still have a mentor. Actually, I have mentors. Okay, mentors who I know that I look up to because I learned about their journey, and I wanted to be like them also, something like that. So, and how to get a mentor is just join professional organizations or online community. you will meet a lot of people there. No? I am a part of the People Management Association of the Philippines. I am a part of the Society for Human Resource Management, which is a US-based HR organization, and we will be putting up the ASEAN Human Development Organization Philippines chapter. No? So we are, after this talk, actually at 7 o'clock tonight, I have a meeting with counterparts from Singapore, Vietnam, and Indonesia, because they're going to help me set up the ASEAN Human Development Organization in the Philippines. No? So I don't stop actually learning. I don't stop, expanding my network, because I know that for as long as I'm living, I will be hungry for learning. I will be hungry for knowledge. And I know that in the process, I will be also sharing the learning to the next generation. So paying it forward. So what I'm doing right now is actually part of my advocacy already. Sharing my learning, my journey to younger generations like you guys who are present here this afternoon. Okay, so that's it. And I am open for any question. You may ask question probably related to my talk or probably even outside of the talk, which is HR. Thank you so much, Meryl.
Thank you so much, Leo. Grabe. That was just less than an hour, but it was so packed with knowledge, and sobrang generous talaga ni Leo in sharing what he knows. I've graduated 2013, but that there's just so much that I learned from that session, and I'm also looking forward to reviewing it later on. Not just yung interview, but yung growth tips. Siguro just a few that personally resonated with me is that yung learning state of mind tayo dapat, hindi lang earning state of mind, because hindi mo yung OT paminsan-minsan, at first parang ako, hala, di ako bayad dito, but then when you think about it, it's me who's being enriched by this experience, and ako naman din yung magbe-benefit here.
Correct,
and also,
correct.
right, and parang just how basically in interviews, it's so important to pitch yourself well, na it's really parang you're selling not one sell, it's like you're selling a product, you're pitching yourself and really showing what you could do. But I think another good insight is interviews are also ways for job seekers like us to get to know the company. Hindi lang dapat sila yung ma-impress sa atin. Dapat tayo rin ma-impress sa what the company can do. That's why I like when you said na dapat aligned yung objectives natin sa objectives nila. So on that note, some people sent in questions, and they're very good questions, and I'm looking forward to know what you also think, Leo. So one of our participants said, matagal na akong tambay at nawalan ng direction after graduation. I'm anxious to apply kasi it's been 4 years since I graduated. How do I explain that to my future interviewer?
All right. Well, one is as just what I've mentioned a while back. You just have to be honest. No? So probably one question that will ask you, what actually motivated you not to work right after graduation? Kasi tambay, di ba? So what motivated you to actually not apply for a job? Second, what motivated you now to apply for a job? Diba? What's the reason behind you applying for a job? Now, halimbawa sabihin, kami kasi kuminsan, importante talaga experience, especially if the position that you're applying for requires certain level of experience. But again, kung hindi naman yun yung experience na kailangan nila, pero ang ginawa mo during the period of time na wala kang formal corporate employment, you did something great, like you're involved in community pantry, community activity, okay? You're involved in the church, you're training young people. Kasi hindi ko kasi titignan ang tambay na negative Okay? Yung titan ko na tambay, and if you're able to highlight na yung pagiging tambay mo actually naging beneficial sa community, or you're able to actually help your family, okay? Kasi may yung iba kuminsan na nagsasacrifice ng personal dahil meron gustong tulungan sa pamilya na mauna muna. At marami akong na-experience na ganyan. Okay? Pero at the end of the day, that's why importante yung tinatanong yung what have you done for the past 3 years na wala kang employment, ganyan halimbawa, no? At pag sinasabi nilang tumulong pa ako sa tatay ko sa bukid, sa bundok, naku, alam niyo sa akin, experience na yan eh. Okay, experience na yan. Kasi at the end,
work experience din yun. That's right.
Work experience yun. Kasi at the end of the day, kailangan ko yung taong matyaga at talagang magtatrabaho. Trabaho ang hanap, trabaho ang hinahanap. So, dapat mag-match yun. Okay?
That's true. That's amazing insight. I think also, no, parang hindi lang naman work experience sa office ang nakakapag-enrich sa atin eh. Work experience could be anything, right?
Yes.
Yan, sige. Is it okay, Leo, if we extend a little bit more for some other questions that we may have?
No problem. Please,
sige,
go
thank
ahead.
you. We really appreciate this, and there are just more interesting questions that are coming. So next naman, what are your tips to people who are career shifters? So siguro industries, the jump from industry to industry. What do you think about that?
Okay. Normally, when you wanted, kasi syempre hindi naman yun basta-basta lang na bukas magaganito na ako. Pinaghahandaan mo naman yun eh. Diba? So, i-advertise ko rin yung book ni Penny Bongato. Penny Bongato is one of the members of PMAP who has a book, no? It's called Career Shift. So you might want to also look for that book in the bookstore or any online shop. Ano? It's Career Shift. So it will help you, guide you also on how you are actually going to shift career. She started that book because she is also a career shifty. I started actually working in the operations. So I started working as in the restaurant operations. So as delivery rider, okay, and then food server, shift manager, restaurant manager. But because I wanted to act, I had this passion of training people when I was working in the restaurant. So parang without the directive coming from my manager, I initiated training programs for staff. So that was actually something that they saw in me, the potential to be a trainer. That's the reason. That's the how do you call that? The point, no, where I was given that opportunity to work in the area of HR, training and development. So yun yung entry level ko sa HR na until na totally nag-HR na ako, no? Until ngayon, nag-general management. So, yung sa mga shifty, try to start by learning about the particular task or position that you wanted to move to or shift to. Okay? Kasi dapat may preparation ka pa rin eh. Okay? Kasi in the absence of experience, definitely, tatanungin, ano yung alam mo tungkol dito? Diba? So, kung wala kang prior training or learning for that particular position na kailangan, lalo po kung highly technical yan, medyo mahirapan. Okay? Pero, you just have to sell yourself na you are willing to actually start from the bottom again. Kasi syempre merong ibang medyo nasa middle na eh. Or sabihin na natin medyo malapit sa middle. Pero parang, nangyayari kasi talaga na parang hindi ka na happy. So, nakita mo na parang gusto mo mag-iba, pero willing ka mag-umpisa sa baba. So, magiging open ka lang sa ganun. I think there are a lot of companies that will give you that opportunity to shift career. But again, continuous learning, continuous upskilling and retooling for you to be able to excel in the particular area.
Right. I 100% agree. And if I may add lang to what you said, Leo, I actually know someone, a previous colleague, who has started his career and parang extended or spent several years in customer service. And then suddenly he identified that there's an opportunity in digital marketing. So what he did, and he really wanted to learn. So what he did was he took online courses. Parang he really self-taught himself how to do SEO, and now his new job is under SEO and digital marketing. So it's really talagang gapang and really parang self-motivation and really work hard. If you really want something, there are no excuses, diba?
Yes. And that's a high-paying, it's a high-paying job.
Correct. I agree.
Digital marketing, something digital.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right?
Thank you for your insight. The next question naman is, if the reason you left your previous work is due to burnout and workload issue from previous organization, how will you justify to the potential employer that you will be a qualified candidate? Parang, that's a good question kasi mamaya pag tinanong, ba't ka umalis? Na burnout ako. Baka na-turn off ka na agad sa akin, Leo, as a candidate pag sinabi kong, I was so tired and I was so burned out and stressed in my past job. Is that a no-no to say during interviews?
No, actually hindi. Okay? Kasi that's human nature eh. 'Di ba? That's human nature, especially for example if you are not given the opportunity to actually grow. Okay? For example, no? Well, lucky for you if your company has budget for training. Uh, kasi may mga companies ganun talaga, no, na they set a certain amount for the upskilling and retooling of their people, no. But for those whose company belong to what we call SMEs, for example, or small and medium enterprises, they may not have that enough budget to actually pay for your improvement, for your development. So the next question actually is what have you done? So pag halimbawa sinabi niya lang na wala na po ako. Actually, turn off sa amin pagka wala kang ginawang aksyon sa burnout na yon. Kasi at the end of the day, dapat meron ma-divert mo to something quality na klase ng trabaho na ginawa. Okay? Kasi otherwise, pagka halimbawa, ang company ay wala ring budget sa training at hindi ka gumagawa ng effort for your self-improvement, baka hindi ka nga mag-swak sa amin, sa company ko. Okay? Pero kung gumawa ka ng effort, but despite your effort, halimbawa ay parang hindi na-appreciate, okay? Kasi pag sinabi mo nang gumawa ka ng effort, gumawa ka ng project, itatanong din sa iyo, so what are these projects? And definitely, kami, malalaman namin pag nagsinungaling. We have a way of making sure that you're saying the truth. So we can always go back to the company. Alam niyo naman ang HR, magkakakilala din kami. Okay? Magkakakilala din kami at we can always naman help and give honest feedback, no, about a certain employee. Pero ito lang yun, hindi ko tinatakot yung mga nandito. Kasi personally, kahit sabihin kung halimbawa ang isang empleyado ay hindi na talaga nag-perform, so definitely naapektuhan na yung kanyang quality ng kanyang trabaho to the point na talaga na-separate siya sa organization. At kung halimbawa ang nag-trigger ng separation na yung organization, no, so na-terminate in short, no, I always do an exit interview sa employee at pinag-uusapan namin yan na how can I help you move on. Okay, so tatanungin ko yan, what help do you need from me? So pag nag-open up ang isang empleyado, sir, I'm planning to work sa ganito, I hope that, alam mo, ano yan, tinutulungan ko pa yan. No? At sasabihin ko pa yan pa nag-background check na halimbawa lang. No? Sasabihin ko na this employee actually has performed very, very well. It's just so happened that we don't have resources ready for him, no, to grow, no, in his career. So I let him go. Parang ginaganon ko na lang. Okay? Because ayaw kong tapusin, ayaw kong patayin ang isang empleyado dahil nawala sa akin ay hindi ko na siya bibigyan ng opportunity to grow in other organizations. Mali yun. Hindi ako HR pag gano'n yun.
I love that,
Okay?
Leo, kasi parang merong mindset rin minsan that all departures from a company is negative and bitter. Parang laging merong, I guess, preconceived notion na, mag-resign ng that's not a good thing. Pero I like that you said that you give people opportunities. Parang it's being grateful that they joined your organization and being confident that you contributed enough to the growth of that person for them to take that growth and to take all those lessons and bring it to the next company, diba?
Yes, yes. Oo. Ako nga, yung comfort zone ko all these years, restaurant, food business. Pero yung pinakamalaking shift sa akin yung mag-move sa media, no? So from a food organization to a media organization na iba yung line of business, malaking shift yun actually. Even if I'm doing HR functions, kasi at the end of the day, ang line of business also affects also your programs kasi and plans, di ba? So definitely, ang comfort zone ko, all these 30 years ba naman eh, di ba? So comfort zone ko yun lang, tapos eventually, no? But I took that risk because one, it was a promotion. Kasi ito yung lagi kong you don't move companies because of the pay. Okay? Ngayon, itong position mo, lilipat ka dun sa kabila, same position, tapos na tumaas lang yung pay. Maling move yun. If you move organization for the same area or department, kung HR ka HR, pupuntan mo doon, make sure na it's a form of a promotion sa position, na nag-move ka and you move up also. Move to the organization but you move up also in terms of the position. Kasi kung pera-pera lang yan, ano ang tinatawag nating career growth doon? Wala. Forever kang ganun sa position na yan, tumaas na yung sweldo mo. Pero ang sweldo na hindi naman din ganun kalaki ang pag-jump, ika nga, di ba? So, malaking bagay yung ganun. So, from HR manager for that particular food company to assistant vice president for HR o na media entity or media organization. So, malaking jump yun. Definitely, di ba? So, yun lang. But I had also to be honest to my employer about a particular move, and I had to ask their permission. So, pinayagan naman ako kasi hindi naman kalaban ang pupuntahan. Ika nga. No? So, yan lang. Kung magandang relationship natin kasi sa ating employer, hindi mahirap talagang mag-move, no, sa isang organization na may growth.
Right. Okay, thank you for that. Last two questions, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leo. I love that. Sobrang generous mo talaga, Leo. Thank you so much. Sige. Another one of our participants here said, most job requirements po ay kailangan ng at least 1 year experience. Paano po yung mga fresh grad na yung work po na yun ang first nila?
Okay. Meron from experience ako I even hired a lot na fresh graduates even if the requirement is 1 year experience. I took into consideration the internship or the OJT. Normally I would ask for their output or experience having had their internship in one organization. Okay? So kasi, malaking bagay sa akin na ang internship mo ay hindi ito yung internship na magtitimpla ka lang ng kape, mag-photocopy ka. Okay? Kasi, sad to say, may mga companies ganun, na ang tingin nila dun sa mga OJT at interns ay utusan. Diba?
Free labor.
Diba? Oo, kuminsan utusan pa sa supermarket para bumili ng gatas ng anak. 'Di ba? So, at kami sa PIMA pero kaming programa na ang internship dapat hindi magte-take advantage ng nakalibre ng man-hour sa mga students na 'yon para gawin ang mga bagay na dapat hindi ginagawa ng isang nag-aaral doon. Okay? Kasi so I take that into consideration actually. Kasi pag may output, sasabihin halimbawa na these are the things that I did during my internship, no? Kahit 3 months lang yung kuminsan, pero meron kasing ibang sobrang, alam mo yun, they love what they were doing during the internship na they already contributed. Like in the case here, for example, in PTV4, no? This is a media company, government company. I am the HR consultant here. And I do the interviewing actually. So lahat mo dumadaan sa akin dito kasi ako nag-set up ng recruitment process ng PTV. Yung mga nag-apply dito na fresh graduate na communications, journalism, broadcast communications graduate, actually fresh graduate, nag-apply na reporter, nag-apply na writer. Pero alam niyo, hihingan ko yan ng Beyond's account ba yan or something na parang meron silang
portfolio, is it?
Portfolio, yeah. Meron silang portfolio na hinanapan ko. Kung news writer sila, I need your previous works, no, in the organization or the company where you were an intern, for example, or an under OJT. So, okay sa akin yon. Tapos titingnan ko yon, pasok sa amin, at least yung minimum requirement namin, pasok siya doon. I give that person the opportunity. Marami na dahil ngayon dito ganyan. Maraming fresh graduates dito sa PTV na they're excelling, actually. So, kung minsan, pag bibigyan mo na talaga ng opportunity ang isang tao, anyway, sabi ko nga naman, may mentality ako na, anyway, meron ka namang meron man tinatawag na probationary period. So, kung hindi naman talaga siya nag-excel despite that 6 months na nasa organization siya, then you can always end the contract. Wala kang violation sa law. Di ba? But at least you've given that person the opportunity to actually perform and, grow if ever that person wanted to be in the organization for long.
Alam mo, Leo, aside from the lessons na natuturo natin sa mga job seekers ngayon, I actually hope that there are future HR practitioners in this group who are learning from you, because it's really so generous of you to have to give people a chance and to have that open mind, diba? Parang I don't think we can say that for all HR practitioners, diba? Parang it's so important na mabigyan ng pagkakataon lahat ng tao, di ba? Hindi yung there's no discrimination and then there's no, because you lack this experience, instantly wala na yun. Di ba? It's really giving people a chance and seeing how not just they can contribute to your company but also how they can grow, di ba? Kasi pride mo yun eh. Those are your employees as well. I love your answers. Sige. All right. So, still keep your questions coming, but for now, this is our last question. So kung meron pa, feel free to habol because Leo is super game to answer all of these today. Sige, so ito naman, would you have an interview horror story, meaning something that just went terribly, something that just went so terribly na naalala mo para in our future interviews, we make sure that we don't do this. So parang, did someone lie to your face? Or did someone, was someone super late? Or yung mga sagot niya parang didn't make sense? Do you have something like that?
Well, actually, hindi naman talaga siya horror. But something na I would say na heartwarming sa part ko because natapos ang interview na nagbigay ako ng kind of a guidance or something na parang, sabi nga ng mga staff ko rito dati sa PTV, para doon nagsisermon ako doon sa applicant. Kasi, but that person ended up not getting the job. Pero you know what? One good thing about what I did to her was that she messaged back after the interview just to tell me na, sir, even if I did not get the job, I learned a lot from you. So parang alam mo yung I made it always parang sa part ko na parang I made sure na hindi kawawa yung hindi nakakuha ng trabaho. Instead, parang they have to just continue to look because sabi ko nga don't stop because the moment you stop, what if the next was actually for you? But because you stopped, hindi na napunta sa iyo. I made it the point that they have a learning. They learned something from me after that particular interview. So maraming bumabalik dito. So kailan ko minsan meron talagang iba na parang alam mo yung tipo na hindi inaaral or hindi masyadong alam kung anong pinapasok na trabaho or hindi alam kung anong tungkol sa kumpanya. So, pag tinanong mo tungkol sa PTV, halimbawa, hindi alam, like ito yung government station. Di ba? So, kaya nilagay ko doon kanina, research the organization. Meron ding iba, hindi alam kung anong trabaho ng posisyon na ina-applyan nila. Why? Kasi ni-refer lang sila ni ganito, ni-refer lang sila ni ganyan. So, kung minsan, may nakalagay doon, very impressive naman yung resume, pero pagdating sa interview process, yung actual mismo, hindi siya kasing impressive nung nakalagay sa resume. So dito lang, actually hindi ko na sinusunod yung dating ko. Ginagawa nila dito na, at least I can say that because I started the recruitment process sa PTV. Na dati kasi pasok na USEC, sige lang, go lang. Pasok ng kamag-anak, sige lang, go lang. So kahit walang technical competency yung tao, wala. Parang tuloy tumulong ka lang. Sabi ko, ano to? Charitable institution.
Right, that's true. They have to prove themselves rin, diba?
Yes. So, meron lang kasi ibang talaga nag-interview na masyadong intimidating. So, wag kayong pa-intimidate. Just be yourself. No? At the end of the day, it's not a guarantee that you get the job. pero na malaki ang contribution no, na hindi niyo makuha ang work pag ikaw mismo ay medyo intimidated o medyo tense or medyo hindi ready. Okay. So just be yourself, relax. So, sa isang kumpanya ko dati na private, nagbibigay pa ako ng, can I offer you coffee? Can I offer you something? Alam niyo yung ganyan? Oh, malaking bagay kasi yun, na parang ang feeling ng applicant pa lang siya, welcome na siya. Di ba? So, hindi naman. So, yun.
Right, sige. Ang dami mong fans, Leo. Questions are still coming in. Sige. We'll take 2 more minutes for you to share your to ask questions, but para rin Leo can rest before his next meeting. Let's also give him time to rest. Pero maybe last 5 questions, if that's okay with you, Leo.
No problem. Actually, they can, after this talk, no, you can always naman message me. I am available sa social media. You can also probably, I don't know, sa PasaJob, I don't know. No? So this particular naman kasi proceeding is recorded and can be, will be uploaded sa PasaJob ba? Tama ba? O sa Liyab?
On PasaJob YouTube. So I can share the link later. Yeah. Share ko din yung LinkedIn accounts natin and Facebook account ng PasaJob para I put it in the comment section so that people could also reach you. Ako, may message kita, Leo, if I need tips. I hope that's okay.
No problem. Actually,
I love that offer.
Si Sir Rafi dito ng DMMC ay even, matagal na kasi akong hindi na-involved sa junior PMAP, ano? Since 2016. So even up to now, meron kaming communication yan. Kasi if I am in the place, actually, I get in touch with them. Kasi simple meeting lang ba na parang, something lang na we can share stories or something. So nice. I'm okay. No problem, guys.
Really a connector and a mentor talaga. Okay, sige. So one of our participants is asking, I just want to know what motivates you po to pursue this kind of profession or career?
Oh, what motivates me? I mean the HR or
yes, HR.
Okay. Kasi I love talking to people. I love being with people. Parang hindi buong araw ko na wala akong isang taong nakausap, and well, maybe because I was so inspired getting messages from people na they learn something from me, or that simple encounter actually impacted them, no, or have a meaningful change in their lives. So sa akin parang why would I stop if I keep on getting this kind of feedback from people? So ako parang ang HR has been my life blood, ika nga, no, nananalaytay. Parang hindi siguro ako, kasi ngayon general management consultant ako sa isang organization, pero I really am involved in the HR matters. Okay? Kasi parang hindi ako mabubuhay nang wala akong nakakausap na tao. When I was in the restaurant operation, probably that I started kasi parang I love to talk to my employees after the shift, just to ask them how's their day, for example, no? Parang how can I help them if they have challenges. So I made it a point to always talk to my staff. Second, I always have time also to talk randomly sa mga guests. I get to know them, no? I get to ask them feedback about my service, about the service of my staff, so parang siguro sa akin parang natural na sa akin yung ganon, yung parang I find time to really get to meet and talk to people. That keeps me going, actually. So this particular, ito nga, yung niligawan ako ni Meryl to be a guest, a resource person dito sa virtual career fair ng PasaJob. Hindi naman ako nag-second thought, kahit na-move na nga to eh. Kanina, if you notice, guys, yung poster natin, April 9 ba yun? April 19 yung date pa na nakalagay, no? Because dalawa dapat kami. So yung isa ay hindi na natuloy, no? So ako naman basta lahat ng opportunities that I can actually share something, I with wholeheartedly I will accept, no, any invitation just to share. Kasi at the end of the day, I think the reason why I put in there success motivator, because I continue to earn appreciation from people for what happened to their lives. So yung mga JP mappers ko na nandito ngayon, although hindi na nila malamang ako naabutan during the time that I was actively involved in JP Map, just to let you know, ang dami ko ng JP mappers ngayon na lawyers. Okay, lawyers na sila and they still get in touch with me. Sabi ko, wala na akong problema kung may kaso ako, ang dami ko ng lawyers na mga JP mappers. So, ang sarap lang ng feeling na babalikan ka ng mga tao at sasabihin nila sa'yo na you made an impact on their lives. So I think that will not stop me really from being in HR because this is what HR is.
That's true. And we're so thankful. We're so thankful in behalf of the 100 people here, diba? Now, we're just learning so much from you. Sige, I think super curious pa rin yung mga participants natin about yung part of your talk about interviews. So, I'll just combine their questions. So, for what words should I never say during an interview? And then, what impresses you the most kapag nag-interview at kapag nag-hire ka? And mas prefer ba ng interviewer na makarinig ng direct to the point answers or kailangan detailed at mahaba? So siguro first, what should I never say during an interview?
The word no. Okay? Kasi, for example, pag tatanong ka halimbawa na, can you do this? Or hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na no. Sasabihin mo, I have a little experience on that, and I think I can even, I would say, as I go along, I would even give more or something, do more. No?
And I want to learn more about that.
Yes, like so that, basta walang no kagad, kasi ibig sabihin sinasara mo yung opportunity for you to actually learn pa, no? The role or the function. Anong isa ulit yun?
The second question, paano ba namin ma-impress ang isang Mr. Leo Gellor kapag ini-interview mo kami or kapag i-hire mo kami? How do we impress you? Just smile. Kahit nagpapanik na hindi alam yung sagot, smile. Smile your way through it.
Oh, smile. Oh, kasi yung pagpasok pa lang sa room, halimbawa, no, if ever, o di kaya pagpasok sa Zoom room, no, dapat yung maaliwalas yung mukha na alam mo yung very accepting or engaging or welcoming, no? Ganun dapat kasi the moment na maramdaman ko yung smile, makita ko yung smile ng tao, alam ko na this person has a place in my company. Kasi ako ayaw ko nang nakasimangot.
Hindi yung parang I have to be here, yung I want to be here. That's the feeling that you should give, di ba?
Di ba contagious yung smile?
Correct. Napapasmile ako kasi nakasmile ka all throughout your talk Alright.
So, yung smile na yun. At syempre, kasi kung minsan, sa totoo lang, mayroong mga applicants na even the manners, diba? So ito, no ito na pagka in-invite kayo sa room, halimbawa kung physical man, no? Kung physical interview naman talaga, no? Until you are told to sit down actually, wag kagad kayo maupo kaysa doon sa nag-invite sa iyo. Kasi syempre kung minsan, i-guide ka diba? So stand ka lang muna until sabihin sa'yo, you may take your seat please. Okay, so yung mga basic na ganyang mga etiquette. Oo. Dapat alam natin, okay? Yung mga cellphone natin dapat hindi naka-on, okay? Hindi on yung sound on ba yung tawag mo doon. No? Dapat naka-silent mode siya. Okay? Kasi malaking minus yun sa pag nag-ring ang phone mo in the middle of the interview. Okay? Even yung pag-upo, no? So, pag-upo halimbawa, no? Hindi yung naka-cross yung pagkausap mo yung interviewer na kaganon ka because that's a sign of authority. So parang intimidating yun sa part ng interviewer. We have to remember na sa isang pag-apply ng trabaho, hindi ito yung one-time interview lang. So you have to make sure na pumasa ka doon sa una pa lang. Okay? Kasi hindi ka niya i-endorse, hindi ka niya i-proceed sa next step kung doon pa lang sa una ay hindi na siya na-happy doon sa first encounter na yon. So make sure that it's lasting, something that has that will make that person give you a reason to proceed to the next step.
Right. And
At
if
yung
I
huli,
may, yeah.
sorry.
No, sorry to cut you. Pero, yeah, ayun, yung huli is, mas prefer ba ng interviewee, or I think interviewer, na makarinig ng direct to the point answers, or kailangan detailed at mahaba?
Okay. So sabi ko nga kanina, mas maganda kung it's something conversational, something that you actually may kwento. So hindi siya yung question and answer. Although syempre kung halimbawa talagang may hindi maiwasan, mayroong mga interviewers na will always resort to a question and answer, mas maganda na direct to the point ka, pero at the same time, you give also information which you think would actually give more weight para ikaw ay i-consider sa position. Okay. Kasi siyempre, kung sinabi mo lang, I was part of the, what was your involvement in college? I was part of an organization as a vice president. Hanggang doon lang ba? So hindi. Dapat to. And then as a vice president, actually, I initiated this particular project which helped the community, and now we have around 900 members of the community who are gainfully employed. Mga ganun ba? Diba?
Results.
So,
share your results.
Yes.
Right. Sige.
All right.
All right, last question. I'm sad that it's the last question, but I hope there will be more learning sessions like this in the future. And me personally, I'm just so enriched by this session. Sige, so since we are facing this kind of pestilence, we're in the middle of a pandemic, we are conducting education and even interviews online. So, wow, very Miss Universe to Leo. Prepare ka. How does this affect our future work or vision? Siguro parang if I could also help translate this to the person who asked this, parang do you think this is a disadvantage ba? No, we're doing things online. Like I'm not able to meet you right now in your office, Leo, if you're going to interview me, but you're only seeing me online. Are you able to really get to know me or understand where I'm coming from? And yeah, siguro how everyone can deal with this whole online situation of not just learning, but also job seeking.
Well, actually, really, this is a challenge, not just for applicants, but even for HR. This is something new for all of us, no? So, in fact, no, it's not only, I have to acknowledge that I was also affected, no, because I'm not used to, doing online, okay, interviewing, no, because at the end of the day, yung physical presence of the employee also as to how he actually projects or she projects herself in front of an interviewer is something also that we gauge or assess. But now kasi, to be honest with you, on the part of the company, having to do all these things online actually also has a benefit. Okay, one, because of this particular pandemic, we are not unnecessarily exposing ourselves and even the applicants to a potential risk of exposure to COVID-19 virus. Second, the resources that the applicant will have to spend traveling to the work actually is something that is helpful also to the employee, because it will be, instead of that being used for travel or whatever, it can be diverted to the needs of the employee, of the applicant, or even used to process pre-employment requirements needed, no, to start a job if ever the person is hired. Okay, and third, of course, this is also a learning, kind of a learning for us, no? Lalo na sa amin na medyo may edad na. Di ba yung technology? Okay? So, sino ba mag-aakalang itong Zoom na to ay magiging ano na lang, magiging byword, para bang feeling parang Zoom, kahit na hindi naman Zoom ang platform, Zoom pa rin ang tawag natin. No? So, learning sa part namin. Challenge nung umpisa, pero because wala kami magawa, kundi gawin ito, natututo na kami. Okay? Now, this kind of a new normal will continue even beyond 2022. Okay, some may be able to shift to a not necessarily 100% face-to-face, probably 75%, pero we have no choice. We have no choice but to really live with this kind of a scenario, na new normal. And if we are not going to accept this as a reality, then we will just be left behind, no? At probably ay hindi na tayo, no? So sa mga applicants o tulad nito, just always make sure na available ang mga platforms na to sa ating mga gadgets, because this will help us actually manage also our resources na our time if we are called for an interview. Okay? Kasi marami kasi ang nag-apply na interview ko na sasabihin na, sir, wala po kasi ako data, ganito, ganyan. So, alam niyo sa totoo lang, pag ginawa niyo yung excuse yan, mukhang hindi ka na magkakaroon ng opportunity to be interviewed. Kasi new normal na tayo at ang data ay normal na. Hindi ka nga normal na. Okay? Pag wala kang Zoom, hindi ka in. So, ibig sabihin, hindi kita kailangan. Kailangan, pag nagtrabaho ka rito, mostly Zoom lang gagamitin natin, tapos wala kang Zoom. So, I mean, you don't have to make that as an excuse. That's why sabi ko kanina, wag mong sasabihin agad no. Okay? Ang sasabihin mo, gagawan mo ng paraan. Okay?
Nice. Kasi I love that.
Pag ginawan mo ng paraan, nagpapakita ito na ikaw ay interesado at willing kang gumawa ng effort at gumawa ng dapat para lang masigurado na you can deliver.
Right. Saka libre naman ang Zoom eh. So, just kailangan mag-effort talaga, di ba? And it's really parang sink or swim eh. This is the reality that we have to live in. So, and if we had, kung gagastusan natin yung pagko-commute or yung pag-dress up for interviews, now it's really, like you said, make a lot for data, prepare ka, make sure you're presentable to the person you're interviewing. And I hope everyone here can learn so much from that. And I really wish we had more time, but I'm so grateful for the over 1 hour that you've spent here helping me and the 100 trivia to everyone listening. It was supposed to be an intimate session of like 10 participants, but Leo here, the super connector, has enlarged the group, and we're so grateful na lahat tayo got to learn from his talk this afternoon. And I'm personally super honored and happy to have sat here through this. So in behalf of everyone, thank you so much, Leo. I chatted his LinkedIn profile here, so if you want to connect with him, please do. And for now, maybe Leo, do you have any parting shot to our group here just to close this session?
All right. So again, I would like to thank all of you who are here present. It's just so heartwarming seeing you here, in this particular venue where I can share, of course, my experience and where I can also contribute to the possibility of you getting that dream job of yours in the future. And our partner for this particular activity is also very much willing to help you, because this is a platform, in fact, newly launched platform. This is we launched this 2 weeks ago. Tama ba ako? 2 weeks ago, Mariel?
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
No? And Mariel is one of the key personalities of PasaJob, who's really exerting a lot of effort to ensure that we will be able to educate people on how they will be able to take advantage of this particular platform, where they can not only get a dream job that they want, but can also help others get the job by just referring, and in the process, earning something from this particular referral. O, diba? So, PasaJob na ba?
PasaJob. Also, for everyone's knowledge, walang PasaJob team kung hindi super connector to si Leo. He was the one who introduced our CTO, Mr. Eddie Ibanez, to our CEO, Mr. Kristen Mariano. So he's very much part of the PasaJob family, and he has enabled this really great product. As he has explained, hindi lang siya place for you to find jobs, but also for you to refer your friends to jobs, at kapag na-hire yung friend nyo, meron kayong referral fee. So our referral fees range from 500 pesos. Right now, may jobs na 8,000 pesos. So it's really, it really pays to be a connector like Leo. So again, thank you so much to Leo and everyone. please check out the social media links that we put here, and also the link to the App Store and Play Store for you to be able to download PasaJob. And Leo, we look forward to learning more from you, hopefully in future sessions like this. Thank you for the organizations that are here. And again, this is I'm from PasaJob, and we hope that you will download our app and just like our page. And meron pa tayong offerings sa Liyab Career Fair. Just go to our page to find out all the details. Meron pa tayong 2 talks tomorrow. So again, Leo, you're the best. Really appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
You're welcome, Mariel. And for everyone else, stay safe, guys. Okay, so we pray for everyone's safety. You are in your respective homes right now because this is online, I hope. Okay, but for those who are traveling, please take extra precaution because we don't know what is there in front of us. Okay, so God bless everyone. Thank you and have a nice evening.
Likewise. Thank you, everyone. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.